Hello everyone, this is your Time Machine channel. That truck bed hauled loads, took hits, and weathered decades without complaint. The shredder gave it 30 seconds and a very different kind of retirement. Corroded red steel meets rotating teeth. The operator watches without sentiment as years of work, rust, and road grind fold into the machine below. Strength is never singular. It lives in the joint, the bond, the glowing moment where two separate things agree to become one thing. A heavy lathe appears to cut gear teeth into a large steel drum, heat oxidation painting the surface violet as each tooth profile takes precise form. That log wore its bark like armor for decades. Two rotating drums introduced themselves, and the armor came off faster than it ever went on. Watch in awe as this powerful machine forces the bright orange substance through the die, creating smooth, uniform waves with remarkable accuracy and control. Each press cycle shapes raw metal into a perfect spoon in under a second. Precision engineering at its finest. Heated to over 1,200 degrees, this steel billet is now soft enough to be forged into virtually any shape imaginable. A glowing steel rod feeds through rolling mills at high speed, continuously shaped, stretched, and hollowed into seamless pipe. From a lifeless sheet of metal, small circles of potential are born, each one a future transaction, a future story. The spinning bristles whisper across tarnished metal, coaxing out a shine that was hiding underneath all along. Watching a CNC drill hit every hole dead center on warm walnut is genuinely the most therapeutic thing ever. Grooved rolling mills squeeze glowing hot steel into precise profiles, each pass reducing thickness while working in the final shape. Decades of rust and paint, gone in seconds. That laser didn't come to negotiate, it came to erase. A CNC router bit traces complex scroll work into solid timber, reproducing ornate patterns with sub-millimeter accuracy, pass after perfect pass. The way every single flower lines up perfectly across that bowl, that's not luck, that's an industrial process working at its absolute peak. A rotary dough portioning machine divides and shapes each piece with identical weight and form, eliminating human variance at industrial scale. Hand soldering hundreds of LED components onto a PCB board demands steady nerves, a calibrated iron, and muscle memory built over thousands of hours. A fiber laser cutter traces complex bracket profiles through thick steel plate, vaporizing material along a path defined down to fractions of a milli. It's not insane. Must insane brackets. Less insane is compromised. The rhythm of that shuttle flying back and forth across golden threads is genuinely the most meditative 30 seconds you'll experience today. High-speed CNC turning oxidizes the freshly cut steel surface blue, a heat signature confirming extreme rotational speed and razor-sharp tooling at work. Layer by patient layer, the machine unwraps a tree's lifetime, peeling back decades of silent growth into something the world can actually build with. Row after row of flawlessly swirled cream cups moving down that line is the kind of dessert factory content that genuinely makes you hungry instantly. A silkscreen press transfers ceramic decal patterns onto glazed porcelain plates, each impression applied with identical pressure, alignment, and ink distribution. Grease-stained gloves move with the quiet confidence of experience, fitting steel to steel the way a surgeon fits bone to bone, fast and certain. Two guys casually peeling apart slabs of solid granite like they're separating pages of a very heavy, very ancient book. Totally normal Tuesday. Watching that perfect blue coat advance across the ridged metal surface in one smooth, unbroken pass is genuinely therapeutic in ways nobody can fully explain. A cold heading machine forms rivet heads by compressing steel wire under extreme force. No heat required, just raw pressure reshaping metal at the molecular level. That steel tube thought its walls were solid enough to handle anything. Then a laser showed up, looked it dead in the eye, and disagreed completely. Raw clay had absolutely no ambitions. Then a hydraulic press showed up, applied several tons of opinion, and turned it into someone's future wall. Fresh from the forming line, it glides forward on silent wheels, a long blue ribbon of steel moving with the quiet grace of something that knows its destination. That block of wood had no idea it was secretly a beautiful cylinder this whole time. The lathe just had the patience and the blade to prove it. A mechanical log splitter drives a hardened wedge along the wood grain, exploiting natural fiber lines to cleave timber cleanly without wasting material to a saw blade. One continuous rod feeds into the light, emerging on the other side as 100 identical pieces, each separation silent and instantaneous as a held breath released. Turn by deliberate turn, the spiral emerges, metal yielding to pressure like clay under a sculptor's thumb. Each groove a permanent commitment carved into steel. Modern CNC milling doesn't cut. It converses with metal. Pass by measured pass, until the material finally yields the exact geometry an engineer once only imagined. Liquid silver poured from steady hands into waiting darkness, then silence, then cooling, then something solid and purposeful where nothing existed a moment before. Rows of battery cells sliding into automated fixtures while laser sensors scan them one by one is the kind of clean precision manufacturing that genuinely feels futuristic. A high-pressure water jet strips compacted concrete slurry from heavy machinery components, protecting seals and bearings from abrasive buildup before the next operational cycle. Every bottle of water, soda, or sauce you've ever opened started here. Born in a flash of heat and pressure, red, identical, and completely unaware of its destiny. Loose gravel and powder walked into this press with no real direction in life. Several tons of pressure later, suddenly it's the floor of someone's dream kitchen. That entire jug started life as a tiny plastic tube the size of a test tube. Hot air, high pressure, and ambition, and suddenly it's holding 19 liters. Years of quiet growth in the earth, then one swift pass through steel, and each stalk finds its final length, ready to become something woven, built, or crafted. That log was the most complicated piece of wood on the property. The blade studied it for exactly 0 seconds, then went straight through anyway. Steam rises. Water hisses on hot steel. Inside, a flawless blue shell that will hold tens of thousands of liters without a single seam to worry about. Every skyscraper begins below ground, deeper than most people ever think about. This drill is writing the first chapter of a building nobody has designed a name for yet. Blank sheet in, dozens of identical colorful labels out. The press didn't ask what was being printed, it just committed fully and never looked back. Thousands of tons of steel just introduced itself to water for the very first time, and the river had absolutely no choice but to make room. Each link gets formed, welded, and connected before it even realizes it's part of something much longer and considerably stronger than it started out being. That shape was always inside the boulder, waiting for two workers with enough patience and the right tools to subtract everything surrounding it, one ring at a time. Those roots had years to grow in every direction they pleased. This worker spent about 30 seconds overruling every single decision they made. Flat steel has no memory of being anything else until the rollers introduce it to a new shape. What comes out the other end has forgotten it was ever straight. Vacuum pulls the film tight. Heat locks it down. Every curve, every profile edge, wrapped in one continuous scan with zero gaps and zero tolerance for imperfection. Most people see a pile of greasy metal parts. This technician sees a finished hydraulic cylinder, and his hands already know exactly how to get there. Steel bent, wood-shaped, hands that never missed. If you found something worth watching here, imagine what's already waiting in the next one. Time Machine. Subscribe before it drops.